Lesson 9.4, Video 6. Our first question has a squared term in it. It is factorable. It's a difference of two squares, but at this point we're not going to concern ourselves with that because it wouldn't do us any good. Because we know that with the first fraction it's 6 over 1, so our common denominator is going to be this. Now again, we talked about subtraction to be changed to adding a negative. Our first fraction needs all of the other one. So remember, we have to distribute. We get 6m squared minus 6 minus 6m, that's the second fraction, over m squared minus 1. And it's best to write them in order, so I should write the m term second and not last, and that is considered good enough. Now at some point we might want to factor and see if things can cancel, and that might be possible in the future, but right now this is good enough. So our next one, here is a more interesting question. We have again a subtraction, so I should change to a plus and negative, remembering that I'm going to have to distribute that at some point. Here I have a p squared plus p minus 12. Well, because we have that p plus 2 on the top, it might be a good idea to see if it's factorable, because we could maybe cancel out that p plus 2 before we start. So let's just see what happens. Factors of negative 12 are two numbers that have a product of negative 12 and a difference of 1, or a sum of 1. And that would be 4 and minus 3. Now notice that neither of these is p plus 2. So maybe we could have canceled those out to make it a simpler problem, but in this case it did not work out. But it's just a little exploration there to see if it would have. So with that being said, I have two pieces to think about for common denominators. I have the 4p squared and I have the trinomial. Now since nothing canceled, I'm not going to put it in this form because it would make the process longer. I'm going to keep it in trinomial form. And the reason I say it would make it longer is because I have to take the first fraction times that trinomial, because our common denominator is going to be 4p squared times p squared plus p minus 12. So basically both of them multiplied together. So again, remember, we're going to have to distribute that, which would give us 3p squared plus 3p minus 36. In the second fraction, it needs the 4p squared. Now this is actually negative p minus 2, because we distributed that negative. So we're going to take that times those two numbers, and we get negative 4p cubed plus 8p squared. We have some like terms here. It'll still be all over 4p squared. If you haven't noticed, we don't ever really distribute and clean up the denominators because this is plenty work. That's good enough for us. So we have 4, a negative 4, p cubed, that's this one. We have like terms here, which is plus 11 p squared. I take that back, I made a little mistake. This is not a negative, this is or positive, this is a negative, because it's 4p squared times negative 2. So it's a negative 8, which makes this a negative 5. Sorry about that. So negative 5p squared, that takes care of those two. We have plus 3p minus 36. So sorry about that glitch there, but this would represent the solution. This ends lesson 9.4, video 6.